Now, what are some of the things we are celebrating in this particular budget and finance making process? First, there is a proposal for accrual accounting. More clarity. There is aspects of standardization when it comes to withholding and ensuring that we protect Kenyans while making Kenya still very, very responsive for non-residents. Then there is the increase of VAT registration threshold from 5 million to 8 million. This means that people have more time before they can enter the VAT bracket. Then the removal of certain contributions, including pension, the proposed social health insurance fund, housing levy from that we have already, this is already contributing to service delivery, a specific service within government, so that income will not be taxed. Again, so that is something that is progressive. The bill also proposes to increase the time for compliance. Last year, there were several things that were passed, whereas for some of the taxes, you had to comply within 24 hours. Hasa unaweza kuwa una comply na mnajua KPLC stima huwa inapotea for 2 days. So the increase from 24 hours to 5 days is something commendable. There are very many other things that are there, but those are just some of the few that we would like to highlight. Now, let me move to some of the areas that are problematic. Nikielezea finance bill ya 2024, think about what you do when you wake up. When you wake up, you cook tea, sidio? Or you brush your teeth. A toothbrush is plastic. There is now eco levy. So the cost of a toothbrush will go up. But we could use bamboo because we must care for the climate. You try and make tea, sindio? You make tea and buy bread. VAT exemption on food commodity is gone. So the cost of tea, the cost of bread will go up. You walk down and you must release your child to go to school. Apande matatu, ama mutembe, ama school bus. That will go up because we have introduced something for the transport sector, which is an additional tax within the income tax law that proposes to tax all car owners 2.5 at the point when they are renewing insurance. Tuongeze gani ingine? Mama yako akupigie simu ni mgonjwa. Ukimbie bank uende umtumie pesa. The cost of making that call has gone up. The cost of sending that money is proposed to go up. Actually, wacha nifunge hii presentation. That is the gist of the finance bill. We have proposed certain taxes that are said to expand the tax base. Everybody who was paying the existing tax on mobile communication will still continue to pay. So we are not expanding the tax base. We are increasing the burden on the existing tax base. You have seen, we have said something about expanding to the digital economy. That is expansion because that particular sector was not yet properly in the tax ecosystem and the framework. Karibu sana Mheshimiwa Kalonzo. And so, like I have explained, when you increase, Your Excellency Kalonzo, wameniuliza, I am explaining the misses in the finance bill, and we have just run through a Kenyan's Day. And we have realized the cost of toothbrush will go up because of the eco-levy on plastics. So the cost of everybody maintaining dental hygiene goes up. Then the cost of breakfast goes up. Because again, haya, mkate inafunikangwa na plastic. So kuna hiyo eco-levy, si ndio? Halafu we are removing the VAT exemption on gluten. So mkate sahi ni pesa ngapi? 65. Ikikuwa 100 tutashukuru Mungu. Ikikuwa chini ya 100. And then we have said after that, most of the people here either go to work or they send their children to school and so on. The cost of transport will have to go up because most of the people who own vehicles for public transport, for school transport, must increase that particular cost. Hapo, because that is where I am, I have remembered my mother may call me, nimutumie pesa ya hospitali. The cost of her calling me will go up. Unajua Wakenya, by the way, tutakuwa na stress sana. Because part of how we relieve our stress is just speaking to each other, chatting on WhatsApp group. The cost of sending her money in the bank will also go up. So the net effect on food, transport, communication, manufacturing, and banking will mean most of the companies will barely be able to produce. If you're even taxing food products, farm inputs, and beginning July, there is a levy on agricultural products that is supposed to commence. We will have no productive economy to tax anymore. As TISA, I can say authoritatively, we are finalizing a study that is looking at the effect of the recent tax measures and the IMF conditionalities on our economy. Is it growing? How many jobs have we created or lost? How much tax have we collected in areas that were previously productive? So this is just one of the simulation of what would go up. Something like you've had the manufacturers very, very well illustrate that for a liter of cooking oil that is currently going for 300, the minimum cost before you add the distribution cost will be about 340. So a significant increase. Finally, as an activist, allow me to speak about the proposal that KRA should be allowed a waiver from data protection, intrude into our privacy, into our businesses, so that we increase tax compliance. In this room, there are people who may be younger, but those who know what ufungamano is, it has been a center for liberation. Most of the people who served at Nyayo torture chambers would come here to reminisce. Honorable Kalonzo, you're here. When they can no longer attack you in any other way, what do they use? They use tax. one of the easiest ways for government to target and silence people is tax compliance. What I have not gone through is some of the proposed taxes and how we will calculate them. It is not so clear, such that you may find yourself not complying, not because you do not want to, but because of how complex it is to comply. If we lift and cede our freedom of privacy and allow this for surveillance to go on, I am sure this will be the easiest way to silence dissent and democracy in this country. And I'm hoping, if no other clause will be debated, is why there must be surveillance on Kenyans for taxation. Tumesema sisi wote tunapenda kulipa ushuru. We don't even want to evade. But ultimately, that restriction or the proposal, it is so broad and covers so many areas that it risks very, very much being abused. As I close, I am not sure if our voices will be heard in the House of Representatives in Parliament. But this is a reality of what will happen to us. Kuna mtu hajafeel effects za Finance Act ya 2023? Wangapi tunasherehekea the effects of VAT on fuel? We have gotten several things right, but the finance bill of 2024 and the budget has some things that are very, very dangerous for this country, especially for most people who are already struggling with basic services. Please, if you go to our website, Okoa Uchumi, by Friday kutakuwa na barua yenye unaweza andikia MP yako. Umwambie zile ushuru tumekubali. Si ni vizuri kwamba hatutalipa ushuru kwa housing levy? Sio ni sawa? Na si pia ni sawa hatulipi ushuru kwa social health insurance fund? Si ndio? So the finance bill, not in its entirety, but there are things that if they affect the productivity of Kenya, we have no country to defend. Please write to your MP. If they do not listen, Kevin, can you bring us back to ufungamano, or we get together and we go to Bomas, sindio? Na tupitishe budget yetu, ambayo iko na health, ambayo iko na education, ambayo iko na pesa ya wazee, sindio? Because ultimately, this country, we are the ones who have sent the representatives. I thank you, and I look forward to this dialogue. I hope I was very objective.
Ameongea vizuri. Amesema zile vitu zinatusumbua. Si ndio? So I will not want to dilute what she has said.